Oftentimes, when there are discussions of motorcycles, the conversation focuses on the negatives of riding a motorcycle. And most often, those conversations focus on the safety aspects of riding a motorcycle. But the benefits of riding a motorcycle are often lost to the general public, so today I want to help, if just for a minute, to refocus the conversation. Today I want to talk about some of the benefits of owning and riding a motorcycle. Some of the lessons that can be learned from riding a motorcycle are some of the things that I believe our current society and culture really lacks in. First, I believe riding a motorcycle makes the motorcyclist a better car driver as well. This is one that I've heard repeated often, and I firmly believe this to be true. A person who regularly rides a motorcycle will be a better car driver. I believe there are several reasons for this. First, riders have an enhanced awareness of their surroundings. Motorcyclists are exposed and vulnerable on the road, and this helps them develop a habit of constant awareness. This heightened awareness of their surroundings makes motorcyclists more likely to notice details that car drivers might overlook, such as small changes in traffic flow, pedestrians coming out on the roadway, or other potential hazards. Second, riders have an improved hazard detection. Motorcyclists learn to anticipate and react to potential hazards more quickly. This skill is developed out of necessity on a motorcycle, and it carries over to driving a car, enabling a quicker response to unexpected situations like sudden stops or debris on the road. Third, riders have better risk management. Riding a motorcycle involves constant risk assessment and management. This mindset helps motorcyclists become better at evaluating potential risks when driving a car, leading to safer driving decisions. Fourth, they offer an increased focus and concentration. The level of concentration required to ride a motorcycle safely is high. Motorcyclists have to focus intensely on their environment and their bike handling, a skill that translates to improved focus and handling when driving a car. And finally, riders have a greater appreciation for defensive driving. Motorcyclists often assume that they're invisible to other drivers, and adopting a defensive riding style keeps them safe out on the road. This cautious approach makes them defensively drive cars like that as well, always anticipating the actions of others on the road. The next big benefit of riding a motorcycle is it's a great stress reliever. There's an old saying that you never see a motorcyclist parked outside of a therapist's office, and I think there's a lot of truth to that. For several years I worked in a highly stressful work environment. There was a lot of office politics and things at work that just made it a really stressful environment. The best thing I did through all those years of working in that stressful workplace was riding a motorcycle to and from work every day. Riding to work gave me something to look forward to in the morning and helped me get up. Riding home at the end of the day helped me forget about the stress of the day. And I had about a 30-minute commute each way. So every morning, every evening, I had a 30-minute ride. And it truly was the best part of my day during all those years. One of the reasons for this is because riding a motorcycle increases the production of endorphins in our body. So kind of like the runner's high that you've heard of, riding a motorcycle stimulates the release of endorphins that are natural mood lifters. Also, riding a motorcycle requires that the rider be present in the moment. Riding a motorcycle requires a high level of concentration and focus. This necessity to remain present helps riders detach from their daily worries and stressors. The concentration required not only keeps your mind occupied with riding, but also clears it of other concerns, like what happened during the day at work. It provides a mental break, so riding a motorcycle gives you that sense of freedom. You get out on the open road and you have that feeling of moving through space and time that is unparalleled in driving a car. This feeling can be incredibly liberating, so helping riders feel unburdened from the constraints of everyday life. The freedom to explore new routes or just the act of being on a motorcycle can lift our spirits and reduce the feelings of stress. Back in those days of working in a stressful environment, if I had to take the car to work, I drove shortest distance possible to and from work. The days I was on the motorcycle, which was the majority of them, I took a lot of back roads and a lot of curvy roads, because I enjoyed the experience of that commute. And I didn't get that same benefit in driving a car. The last benefit of riding a motorcycle is a little bit harder for me to define, but I think it's one of the biggest benefits. We live in an instant society today, one that's protected, and we've lost our sense of steadfastness and independence. So let me see if I can explain these two concepts and how they relate to riding a motorcycle. First, let's talk about our instant society. Growing up, one of my favorite nights as a kid was Tuesday night primetime TV. Tuesday night meant Happy Days at 7 p.m., followed by Laverne and Shirley, and then Three's Company. In my book, that was 1.5 hours of can't miss TV, and the thing was, back then, you really could miss it. If you weren't there at 7 p.m. to watch, you'd miss the show. There were no VCRs, at least not in my house back then. No endless selection of channels that would show all the old reruns. Certainly no DVRs or streaming services to watch on demand. You had to be in your seat at 7 p.m. or the Fonz was just going to be cool without you. Everything is instant these days. You want to watch a movie, you can find it on Netflix, or worst case scenario, you can pay $3.99. You can rent it on Amazon Prime. Everything you could ever want is right at your fingertips and on demand whenever you want it. Here's a shameless plug. You want to watch any MCrider video? Go to mcrider.com/watch. You can see every video on demand, sorted for you by date and topic. It's all right there for your viewing pleasure whenever you want to watch it. Everything is instant. In our entertainment, to the food that we eat, to sending money to family, even educating ourselves on any given subject, it's all at our fingertips. But if you want to be a better, safer rider on a motorcycle, it certainly doesn't happen in an instant. It's going to take time and practice, and there are no shortcuts to being a skilled rider. Riding a motorcycle forces us to be steadfast. We learn patience, and we oftentimes fail at our own expense or our own physical well-being in order to become a better, safer rider. Also riding a motorcycle forces us to be accountable for our own protection. Cars today are safer than they've ever been. Got crumple zones, seat belts, ABS, automatic braking, airbags, a host of electronic aids that have all reduced the number of fatalities and injuries in cars. This separation from the natural consequences has in turn made drivers more lazy, in my opinion. Many drivers fail to understand that their safety is their responsibility. Personal accountability is an all-time low. Everything is always somebody else's fault. Many motorcycle riders try to ride with that same mentality, and those are the riders who increase the crash and fatality statistics for the rest of us. When you want to throw a leg over a motorcycle, no one has more responsibility for your well-being than you do. Sure, cars are going to do stupid things and increase our risk, but if we're riding in the moment, if we're using and developing good road skills, if we have a good road strategy, we can often compensate for the mistakes of a careless driver. I fully believe that this sense of independence not only makes us a better motorcycle rider, it also makes us a better member of society. If I want motorcycling to be safer for me, the biggest impact I can have is starting right here. If you want riding to be safer for you, the biggest impact you can have starts right there. It's not complaining about other drivers. It's not worrying about drivers on their cell phones. The biggest impact on personal safety starts right here, every time I throw a leg over a motorcycle. That is a lesson that our current society desperately needs to learn, and I believe that riding a motorcycle is a great tool to help teach that lesson. Till next week, guys, this is Kevin with MCrider, and I'll see you on the road. There's a whole lot more to MCrider than just the weekly videos. Go to mcrider.com/member. Get access to all the resources that make MCrider one of the best places on the web for people who love motorcycles and want to get better at riding them.